Hello and welcome to Plus TV Africa. I'm Benga Aborowa with the news on the hour. President Muhammadu Buhari has described the Sunday killings of June 24 in Barikin-Ladi local government area of Plateau State as painful. He expressed regret over the killings and vowed that his administration would not rest until the murderers and sponsors are brought to justice. Reacting through his official Twitter handle of the presidency at NGR President, hours after the reported killings, President Buhari said the incident was very painful and regrettable. He also condoled with the communities and families of those affected by the violence. Meanwhile, the news agency of Nigeria reports that the police in Plateau State confirmed that 82 people were killed in the attack which took place in Razat, Ruku, Nyakura and Ganorop villages of the Gashish district. The Plateau State Police Command Public Relations Officer ASP Tena Tiopev confirmed the new figure after the police stated previously that only 11 people were killed in the attack. Meanwhile, 2 fighter jets and 300 special forces have been deployed to Benue State by the Nigerian Air Force to tackle the recurring crisis and killings in the state. Director of Public Relations and Information of the Nigerian Air Force, Air Vice Marshal Olatokunbo Adesoya, disclosed this on behalf of the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, over the weekend during his visit to the headquarters of Operation Wellstoke in the state. In a statement, he said the 2 jet fighters, a MiG-35P helicopter gunship, and 300 special forces were the Air Force's contribution to curbing the violence in Benue, as they are committed to the security of lives and properties of all Nigerians. He also commended the commander, officers and men of Operation Wellstoke for the success so far achieved and assured of the continued support of the Nigerian Air Force to achieve greater results in the operation. The recent cholera outbreak in Sangaya Islamic School, Madaki, Gombe State, has led to the death of 3 pupils, with 27 others hospitalized. The Gombe State Health Commissioner, Kennedy Shire, said this while speaking to journalists on Sunday as he visited victims at the Madaki Primary Healthcare Facility. He confirmed the discharge of 15 persons who had responded to treatment, while 12 others were still receiving treatment. The commissioner admonished people not to hesitate to report any suspected case to the nearest facility, as government has stocked all facilities in Gombe with sufficient drugs to handle the outbreak. He appealed to all health personnel working at the facility to avoid contamination and asked Muslim faithful to use water from good sources while performing ablution to avoid contamination. During an interview in Abuja, Mr. Ali Aziz, Director General of the Nigerian National Identity Management Commission, called on all Nigerians and foreigners resident in Nigeria to enroll in the National Identity Database by obtaining their National Identity Number, NIN. He said the National Identity Number was a verifiable and valid means of identifying individuals on databases specified in Section 27 of the NIMC Act. He further advised applicants to visit any of the 930 registration centers nationwide or the 200 special centers in hospitals, banks and ministries. Upon registration, he said individuals will be issued 2 slips, a transaction slip and the NIN slip, which will be issued after 2 hours. Mr. Aliyu encouraged individuals to obtain their NIN before its use is enforced, and also cautioned against double registration. As part of ongoing operations to remove illegal structures in the state, the Lagos State government over the weekend commenced demolition of over 500 shanties and illegal structures within and outside the Okoba Abattoir and Lerage Complex, Agege area of Lagos. The illegal structures, believed to have served as hideouts for criminals and miscreants, were demolished by the state government as part of efforts to ensure adequate upgrading and transformation of the complex for improved operations. It was gathered that dangerous weapons were recovered from the shanties by the Joint Task Force comprising the Lagos State Task Force on Environment and Special Offences, staff of the Ministry of Environment, the Department of State Services and Operation MESA, police officials, as well as officials from the Nigerian Railway Corporation, amongst others. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has raised alarm over drug abuse in military and paramilitary agencies in the country. Speaking with newsmen at the World Press Conference to observe the United Nations 2018 International Day Against Drugs and Illicit Trafficking in Abuja, Mohammed Abdallah, the chairman of the NDLEA, stated that the agency is collating data on the rate of drug abuse among security personnel. He also stressed the resolve of the NDLEA to keep up with the fight against drug traffickers, regardless of their connections. However, the Defense Headquarters, the Nigerian Police Force, and the Nigerian Customs Services have all released statements denying the NDLEA's claim and requesting evidence. The National Association for Nigerian Students released a statement pleading with the state governor, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje of Kano, to reduce the 17,000 naira surcharge imposed on students of the Kano State University of Science and Technology Wudil for damage to school and government property following violent demonstrations on the 2nd of May. Speaking in Enugu on behalf of the group, its National Public Relations Officer, Bestman Okorafor, stated that over 1,000 students are finding it difficult to pay the registration fees in an institution with about 15,000 students, and that the damages surcharge is an added burden. The school was shut after violence broke following the death of a 300-level student, Farouk Abubakar, who drowned in River Wudil after resisting warnings from the school's authority to avoid entering the river owing to safety concerns. The police have arrested two confessed student cultists for the murder of another student, Adebisi Oriade, and his girlfriend. Both Oriade, his girlfriend, and the suspects were students of the Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agoiwoye, in Gombe State. After the sudden disappearance of the couple and a complaint, the combined efforts of the operatives of the Inspector General of Police Intelligence Response Team, as well as men of the Federal Special Armed Robbery Squad, led to the arrest of the suspected killers of the students. The bodies of the two student victims were dumped inside a bush in Awa along the Ijebu-Ode-Ibadan Expressway. According to the State's Commissioner of Police, Ahmed Liasu, the suspects have already confessed to the crime. The arrested suspects are said to be members of the Aye confraternity. One of the suspects said Oriade had been a sponsor of a rival cult group and had also failed to recognize him as the overall head of the cult in their zone. And on the foreign scene, the Trump administration will soon present a timeline to North Korea with in-depth requests to Pyongyang after the historic summit earlier this month. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is set to travel back to North Korea to build on the commitments made at the Singapore summit between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un. The meeting between the two leaders reiterated the commitment to work towards the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula, while Trump agreed to halt joint U.S.-South Korean war games. The United States military says it's preparing to build temporary camps at two military bases to house immigrants. Defense Secretary Jim Mattis said this on Sunday in the latest sign of a growing U.S. military support role for President Donald Trump's politically charged immigration policies. He said the details are still being worked out regarding exactly how much capacity they need at the two bases, adding that the request for the facilities was from the government's Department of Homeland Security. Mattis says the military is only providing logistical support to the Department of Homeland Security, which deals with immigration issues, adding that the United States military had in the past provided shelter to immigrants, including Vietnamese refugees in the aftermath of the Vietnam War. Trump was forced last week to abandon his policy of separating children from their parents who were apprehended for illegally crossing the U.S.-Mexican border, following outrage at home and overseas over his crackdown on illegal immigration. According to the Vietnamese disaster agency, flash floods and landslides brought by torrential rains have killed 7 people and left 12 people missing in northern Vietnam since Saturday. The death toll is set to rise, and Vietnam is prone to natural disasters, with floods and typhoons killing hundreds of people each year. Natural calamities killed 389 people and injured 668 others in the country last year, according to the government. Majority of the victims live in the mountainous provinces, where the disaster has also injured 5 people, the agency said in a statement. The damages caused by the floods are reportedly worth over 76 billion Vietnamese dong, which is the equivalent of about $3 million. And in business, the latest review of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation for the 2015, 2016 and 2017 fiscal years have revealed that they have lost a total of 547 billion naira. However, the Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative report, which was released on Sunday in Abuja, showed that the NNPC had a capacity utilization of 12.26% on refineries and domestic crude utilization in a 3-year period. This also revealed that the Kaduna refinery recorded its lowest capacity utilization of 9%. Nati, on seeing the financial operations report for the NNPC, said that the NNPC headquarters had a total revenue loss of 336.268 billion naira, which accounted for the highest revenue loss of the 547 billion naira loss. Following the report by NNPC, Nati says it has not verified the data by the NNPC except for the year 2015. However, their independent validation will be done in both ongoing and future reconciliation reports, as what they have done in a parliamentary analysis of what NNPC made available to them. The Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers has condemned the 11.5 billion naira cut in the 2018 budget by the National Assembly on allocations for infrastructure. In a statement released through its president, Comrade Williams Aporia, yesterday in Lagos, the union posited that the negative socio-economic impact of the action on regional and national projects like the Second Niger Bridge, East-West Road, Boni-Bodo Highway and the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway would be grave. According to the union, trunk roads were left out at a time the union is advocating a declaration of state of emergency on infrastructure. The statement therefore called on the authorities and relevant stakeholders to review the decisions in the interest of all Nigerians. The People's Democratic Party has asked former Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi to account for 16.7 billion naira, which they claimed Fayemi's administration declared as internally generated revenue. This comes after he said his administration had an average of 600 million naira monthly IGR, which was a total of 7.2 billion naira in a fiscal year. According to the PDP, the figures submitted to the National Bureau of Statistics, the Federal Ministry of Finance, Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, to list a few, did not correspond with Fayemi's declaration. According to the PDP chairman, Mr. Gboyega Oguntuashe, while analyzing Fayemi's claims, said going by the former governor's figures, his administration underdeclared its IGR, as at 2013 it was 2.3 billion naira, given a monthly average of 198 million naira, leaving 4.9 billion naira balance. 3.5 billion naira in 2014 at a monthly average of 299 million naira, leaving a 3.7 billion naira balance. Fayemi's campaign organization responded by demanding for the PDP to stop concocting ridiculous figures, as his organization also claimed that this was not the first time Fayose and his men doctored figures to cast the Fayemi administration in bad light. Up next is entertainment news.
And in entertainment, American actor Dwayne Johnson, popularly known as The Rock, has announced a long-lasting pair of headphones as part of his new workout collection for Under Armour. The former wrestler has been collaborating with the managers at the athletic brand since 2016 and has now revealed his own wireless audio apparatus, which is resilient enough to endure intense gym sessions. He took to social media to proclaim that the headphones had arrived as he posted a photo of himself wearing the Project Rock headphones. According to him, devotees will enjoy the toughness and functionality of the Project Rock wireless headphones, which will be in retail stores by the 28th of June. Johnson is the latest in a line of celebrities, including 50 Cent, will.i.am and Dr. Dre, to cash in on the headphones market. Nigerian poet and author Wole Soyinka is planning to launch a publication to expose Olusegun Obasanjo, according to a participant at the Gala Award ceremony of International Press Institute in Abuja. He disclosed that he will soon launch a publication on the 3rd of July to expose the ex-president. According to reports, Wole said Obasanjo is the most hypocritical leader this nation has ever had. He also said Obasanjo has crossed his limit and will launch a publication to expose him at Freedom Park in Lagos. American singer, songwriter, actress Janet Jackson has paid a moving tribute to her father and first manager, Joe Jackson. The mother of one gave an emotional speech to appreciate her father, who is in the end stages of terminal cancer. At the Radio Disney Music Awards 2018 on Friday, where she received the Impact Award, Janet showed appreciation to her mom, Catherine, for the most extreme love, before she went on to thank her father, whom she said drove her to the best she can. According to TMZ, her father was hospitalized last week with terminal cancer. Catherine, his wife, his children, grandchildren, and other relatives paid him a visit. According to sources, Joe was to come home where he could get more love and comfort from his family as the last days draw nearer. The actress has won Grammy Awards, MTV Video Music Awards, and Billboard Awards, and many more. Laura Ikeji, a fashion entrepreneur and sister to popular blogger Linda Ikeji, took to her Instagram page to appreciate a rapper and an erstwhile bad boy of Nigerian music, Idris Abdulkareem, for making her a decent woman. She shared a picture of herself and Idris together with a very long caption narrating how they met and how she was obsessed with Idris Abdulkareem, whom she met through her sister Linda Ikeji. According to Laura, even though she was naive, Idris never took advantage of her and warned his entire team to be cautious with Laura. He took her as a daughter, mentored her, and taught her how to rap, she revealed. Laura, who is obviously older now, has disclosed that after she started mingling with other celebrities, she realized they were all after taking advantage of her, which made her appreciate Idris even more. She concluded by saying she can beat her chest and say she didn't mess around with any entertainer because she had Idris, and he's the reason she's a decent woman to date. And that's it on entertainment. Up next is Udoka with the sports news.
Hello and welcome to Sport Update on Plus TV Africa. I am Udoka Njoku. Radamel Falcao, who missed the tournament 4 years ago with injury, scored his first World Cup goal as Colombia got their tournament in Russia up and running with an impressive 3-0 win over Poland that ended the Polish side's hopes of reaching the last 16. And this was another disappointing display by Poland, who lost to Senegal in their group opener. And Robert Lewandowski, making his World Cup debut in Russia, struggled with a lack of service throughout the game. And the Bayern Munich striker going closest in the final few minutes when a long-range effort was tipped over by the goalkeeper David Ospina. And Poland cannot now catch either of Japan or Senegal, who have 4 points from 2 games. And Colombia have 3 points and play Senegal on Thursday, knowing that a victory could secure top spot in that one. Diego Maradona has requested a meeting with Argentina's players before their final World Cup group game on Tuesday. That's against Nigeria. And after losing to Croatia, the two-time winners must beat Nigeria to have any chance of reaching the last 16. And Maradona is furious and upset and criticized Argentine Football Association President Claudio Tapia. And Maradona, the Golden Ball winner as Argentina won the 1986 World Cup, said he would love to meet coach Jorge Sampaoli's players and would take several of his former teammates with him. Still on sports, going over to tennis, Marin Cilic upset Novak Djokovic at the finals of the Queen's Club to win his second title at the same championship. And Cilic won the title in 2012 when his opponent, David Nalbandian, was disqualified for injuring a line judge. And in 2017, he was a runner-up, and the 2018 competition happened to be his fourth Queen's final. And Novak Djokovic was hoping to win his first title for a year as he battles his way back to his best of form after injury. And the defeat for Djokovic means he has to wait for a Queen's title, and it still continues after he lost a decade ago in straight sets against Rafael Nadal. Still on tennis, Petra Kvitova, a former world number 2, had to fight back from a set down to get a vital victory over her Slovakian opponent, Magdalena Rybarikova. And Kvitova, now ranked 4th, has had a good year in tennis as she had an amazing run in Birmingham to defend her title at the Nature Valley Classic. And the title is her 5th of the year, more than any other player on the tour, and also it is her 37th match victory this season. And in Formula 1, Lewis Hamilton has retaken the lead of the World Championship with victory in the French Grand Prix on a troubled day for title rival Sebastian Vettel. In the first French Grand Prix for a decade, a calm and collected Lewis Hamilton cruised to a comfortable win ahead of Red Bull's Max Verstappen and the Ferrari of Kimi Raikkonen. But there was drama elsewhere after Vettel, starting on ultra-soft tires, crashed into the Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas at the first corner. And the stewards blamed Vettel for the collision, imposing a 5-second time penalty on the Ferrari after it limped back to the pits for an emergency repair. Hamilton now tops the standings with 145 points, leading Vettel, who is on 131 points with 14 points. We look forward to the Australian Grand Prix on the 1st of July. And that's it for Sport Update on Plus TV Africa. I am Udoka Njoko. Back to you, Benga.
That's news at this hour.